Don't blink, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the commentary show. Guys are doing well because we're having a wonderful day on this 5th May 2025. Today we're actually approaching kind of psychological project. I know it's dark outside, but this is my last video of the day, so please bear with me. Please bear with me. We don't have to suffer the horrible lighting of ink once again for long, okay? So today we're talking about the George Costanza dilemma. So, I often tell you that I had a problem being in Vendetta. I often tell you how I'm kind of affected. I'm kind of afraid and affected by the fact that Ink Vendetta is getting more and more popular, because Ink Vendetta becoming more and more popular equates to me being Steph. It's the I used to say it's the Eminem dilemma, right? And there's an Eminem dilemma. So I'm going to repeat myself and I'm going to tell you the story of Eminem. Eminem was a brilliant artist, still is a brilliant artist, that went through a lot. And because he went through a lot, he became Slim Shady. Slim Shady was a mask that he used and a character that he used to be the darkest side. And then when in trouble, he would say, hey, that's not me, that's Slim Shady, right? But then he healed. With time, he healed and he became happy again. So then he went back to being Eminem. But then people were already used to Slim Shady and said, hey, we don't want Marshall Matter, we want Slim Shady. So then Eminem was in a position where he was being himself and be making the music he wants to do, but nobody wanted that, right? And that's a hard thing. And then I was always afraid of that. I'm like, what if I'm known for this? What if I'm known for that? People talk to me a lot about anime, and I love anime, but I don't want to be the anime guy. So yeah, there is this small fear there. There is definitely a small fear, but at the same time, it's a bit more complex than that, I guess. So long story short, what ended up happening is Eminem's becoming this person that doesn't care about selling CDs. He cares about being himself, which we love for him, right? We actually love that for him. But at the same time, he doesn't sell as much CD, right? Which is kind of sucky for him, but hey, that's life. You chose to sell less CDs, which is okay, fine. You have to accept reality sometimes. And I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm saying that it's harder. So then I've had this really weird, really weird fear of becoming. And I've always tell you, oh, I want Steph to be important too, right? And then I used to say that it was Eminem, the Eminem dilemma, right, which we just talked about. But now that we watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, I remember subconsciously why I was so afraid of that. So the reason why I'm so afraid of that is Curb Your Enthusiasm was one of the first show that I've listened to when I learned English. So it's kind of important for me. We have the George Costanza dilemma, right? And I think this is what I'm truly afraid of. What I'm truly afraid of. But in my case, it's so weird because I told you multiple times we're going to film the night sky. It is gorgeous. So now, what I need to do, I need to find a way to not have voice. Voices in my head again. They're pulling me undone. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be more than good, actually. Technically speaking, that's not good. So Diablo's on which console? On with the cell phone. On this one, right? Yeah, it is. So I have to charge this one.
Already heard.
Okay, we'll see. We will see it. Okay, cool. We're just gonna be posting one video. They're telling me I've been getting a lot more support on the videos, so thank you for that. I'm getting a lot more comments on YouTube, so thank you for that. Thank you for everything, to be honest. I'm extremely grateful, and thank you forever. For everything and ever. Oh, that's sweet. That's cute. So, okay, so this is nature corn. The problem with George Costanza, the dilemma of George Costanza, I feel like the first thing you have to do is understanding who is George Costanza. So George Costanza, or Alexander George, is a character on the sitcom called Seinfeld, right? So he was playing that character for 11 years, and people like this character. And the truth is, he's not the only one that felt that. The actor Rainn Wilson felt the same thing. People always see those characters. Like for example, Rainn Wilson is like, "Yo, Dwight." He was talking with Ryan Cranston, which is the character behind Al of Malcolm in the Middle, behind a bunch of characters, to be honest, a bunch of characters. He was behind Al, which played Malcolm in the Middle father. He was behind Walter White, and he was talking about how do you feel about the reality of having to be this character for your whole life. And Ryan was like, you know what, people like this character. It's okay if they see me as this character. That's totally fine. I'm okay with that. And I'm like, you know what? This is a really good way of seeing things, right? So the George Costanza is the same thing. So when you're supposed to be this character for your whole life, and people see you this character, so you stop existing, and you just become this character. So Eminem stopped existing, became Slim Shady. George Alexander became George Costanza. Bryan Cranston stopped existing and became these characters, right? And it's weird because these people, for example, Bryan Cranston did so many roles except for that, right? So when people are knowing him just for that, it's kind of weird. At the same time, it does make sense because he plays a character that from a beloved series. People will associate you for every single time. There's this character in Game of Thrones, Joffrey. The actor that played Joffrey was hated. There's this character there's a lot of characters that are hated because of the characters they play. You can't tell them, yo, I'm not that guy. It's a role that I played. I'm not that guy. They don't care. They do not care, right? So then you're put in a situation that's kind of weird. And the situation that's kind of weird is, what if by being in Vendetta, right? I would be. It's so crazy. What if by being in Vendetta, people will stop knowing who I am and just think about in Vendetta, and then am I okay with that? Well, technically I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because Ink and myself is one of the same person. I'm not playing a role. I'm not acting, right? What I feel, how I talk is how I talk in real life. How I feel is how I feel in real life. I don't hide stuff from you. I'm pretty genuine when it comes to being myself. And once again, there's not a lot of difference between Ink and Steph. Ink talks to a little bit more people and say a little bit more stuff than Steph, but that's it. So I technically wouldn't be bothered by being Ink. However, in my case, this is my dream. This is my dream job. So even if I end up being Ink Vendetta for the rest of my life, still pretty happy, right? There is a problem though. Am I okay with being Ink for my rest of my life, right? And I don't know if I am. I don't know if I am okay with being that. Why? Because there might be a time where I want to be Steph. You know? Imagine going to vacation. For example, we're doing this and we make it a lifelong lesson, a lifelong job, right? For example, I go to get married, right? And we go to the hotel, right? And it's me and my wife. It's not me being this internet celebrity with my wife. It's me and my wife as two normal people, two equal partner and an equal relationship. And people start calling me Ink and Ink and Ink and Ink. You know? And then it's also something else. It's my friends. For example, my friends. You're Ink friends. No, you're a fucking human being. I was talking with Janice today, my best friend. And we were having a conversation about, life in general. And I have a problem right now where is my algorithm is completely fucked up. I'm getting gaming algorithm for the normal channel, and I'm getting normal content for the gaming channel. Now, ultimately speaking, I want to have a gaming algorithm, right, for the gaming channel, and I want to have a normal algorithm for the normal channel. Why? It's actually pretty simple. I'm the kind of guy that believes that as long and as often, but more so as long as I'm working on the gaming content, I want to work on the gaming content. When I'm not working on the gaming content, I don't want to hear about gaming, right? I love gaming. That's not a question, but it's just the way I feel. So I wanted to do that. So what I do is, if I see somebody in the algorithm for the normal channel, I'll send in a whatchamacallit, I'll send to myself a link for the gaming channel. I'll say, hey, follow that guy. That way, by following this guy, I'll get more gaming content, which is good. But then, because I'm talking to Janice so often, my first name in the chair is not myself, it's him. So I share it to him a lot, and then he's like, yo, who is that guy? Because I keep on sending him, and it's annoying because I'm sending him almost every single day somebody else. And he's like, dude, who are those people? And I told him the story. Now he understood, he's okay with it. And I said to him, and I didn't mean anything wrong with it. I wasn't trying to be an asshole, wasn't trying to be mean. But I told him, don't worry. The people that I would like for you to follow, the people that I would like you to get to know, you already know them, because me and Janice go back for 2 years. And 2 years is, you know my circle, you know what I do, you know who I am. You get to know somebody, right? And his friends. If you have these friends for 2 years and you don't know anything about them, are you really friends? It's kind of weird. And then, as a joke, I said, and they know you too. But then I was like, holy shit, what an asshole. Because I didn't mean to be mean, but imagine only being known for being the friend of somebody. That's kind of shitty. You want to be known for being yourself. You want to be known for being who you are, yourself. Not, oh, this is the friend of this one, and he's kind of cool because this one is kind of cool. It doesn't make any fucking sense, right? So all of that said, all of that being said, we're coming back to one simple thing, right? What if I lose all sense of self? I lose all sense of identity to become something, right? And then it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. Name, it shouldn't affect you, and I don't care. People call me name every single day. I don't care. But imagine being a father, and one day your kid calls you dad. The next day he calls you dad, and for 15 years he calls you dad. Then one day he calls you Steph. Say, hey, Stefan. Oh, fuck. I'm dad. Why did I stop being dad, right? But now the question I'm asking is, when did I stop being Stefan, right? There's another question. When did I stop considering myself Stefan? Because technically speaking, how people call me, it shouldn't matter. When they call me XYZ, call me XYZ, I don't give a fuck. But do I call myself Steph, or do I call myself something else? Right? The people that know me in my personal life, they call me Steph. They're not that much. I had a call from a friend today, and he called me Steph. And my parents call me Steph. But everybody else call me Ink. That's cool. So there's a lot more people calling me Ink than Steph. And I've been Ink for what? For 4 years? And I've been Steph for what? For 32 years. It just feels weird. You know? So we're trying to get this George Costanza thing. And it's tough because this George Costanza thing is, once again, the exact same thing. When did he become George Costanza? Stop being George Alexander, right? I don't know. And then I think Seinfeld is actually a really good example, because everybody suffered from that. Jerry Seinfeld was known as Jerry Seinfeld. Elaine, which is played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is known as Elaine. Everybody is known as their characters. Kramer, I don't even know the name of the real name of the guy, and I've watched that show multiple times. Right? And then the one that got away with it was Jerry Seinfeld, because he is Jerry Seinfeld, right? Then I grew up with movies, with shows like and I think that's a really good example too. I grew up with shows with, you guys know the show that I listened to when I was younger, Kenny vs. Penny. Kenny Otts was himself. So people would call him Kenny Otts and Kenny Otts and Kenny Otts, and he didn't change his name. And then you had the Trailer Park Boys. We were typecast. They played Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles. And then they started to do different shows. Like, for example, they did Drunken on Drugs, right? And they had, I think it was 8, 9 shows on their I don't know what you call it, their banner, which is swearnet.com. And Swearnet tried to do something else like Trailer Park Boys. People just watched Trailer Park Boys, the podcast and shit like that. People didn't care about the other shows. So these 3 actors try to play in different things. They try to play in different things. The only one that I saw in the other thing is Ricky, played by Rob Wells. Rob Wells, Ricky, John Paul Tremblay, Julian, and Mike Smith, which is Bubbles. I know my shit. I know my shit. And then there's actually the actor from J-Rock, who became Mr. D Principal. That was kind of special. But yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts because these street guys were treated by Bush for so long that they stopped doing that. You know, I'm watching also this guy, Nikocado Avocado. He will never be Nikocado Perry, Nicholas Perry, because that's his real name. He will always be Nikocado Avocado. I'm watching Chelsea Lynn. Always be Cheddar Trash Tammy versus Chelsea Lynn. I'm watching, but you see that's different because you see Good Mythical Morning and you see Rhett and Link. And Rhett and Link are Rhett and Link. Right? Such a weird thing. And then, you're saying what a weird video to do. It's not a weird video. When do people stop being themselves? When they become something else? Right? You have this plumber. And this plumber is a plumber 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. The weekend is himself. When he's at home, he's himself. If he's lucky enough, he's called Dad. If he's not lucky, he's called Samuel, Gabrielle, whatever the fuck you want to call him. But the rest of the time, he's a plumber. Right? That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.